Hey, welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been a little while since I've posted a video, but I finally have something new to show off. Figured I'd do an unboxing today of the Star Trek Away Missions box set, starter box set. Thank you, Harley. I also have the Romulan expansion as well as the Klingon expansion, so I'll be going into all these real quick. And as you all know, Harley likes to show up in the videos, so don't mind her. So I figure we'll go ahead and get into this now. I have taken the cellophane off them just for the speed of the video. So obviously in the top of the set here we do have all the miniatures. Now the miniatures have kind of been a little bit of controversy with this game. A lot of people don't like the look of them. They have kind of a cartoonier look. If I can hopefully get this in the shot there. That's Commander Shelby. Some people think they kind of look like bobbleheads. I don't mind the look of them that much. I think it's more the fact that Modiphius has Star Trek miniatures, so my guess is there's some kind of a licensing deal with that, but I could be wrong. But they do have specialty dice, so the Borg guys have their dice, and these are the same dice that come with Ascendancy, I believe. So if you get the special dice, you know, the Borg dice, each faction has its own dice in Ascendancy, so I think it's the same dice for this. And of course the Federation dice have the Federation symbol on it. So below the plastic here is the actual meat and potatoes of the game. So we have just a filler sheet there. And we've got our rule book, which I'm assuming is going to be full color. Yeah, sure is. With all the rules on that. Obviously they're showing the other factions that are already available. There's going to be more factions made available pretty soon. I know there's a set that's going to have Picard and the rest of the next-gen crew, and there's a Q set that's coming out that's going to be part of Organized Play. I'm trying to find out if there's anybody in my area that's going to be running that. But anyway, back to this one. So this is the Quick Start Guide. This is obviously the Learn How to Play Quick Start instructions, and then this larger one over here is the full rule book. Kind of the same model that a lot of games have been following lately, like Fantasy Flight and whatnot. They'll have the Learn to Play book and then the deep rule book. So then we got some counter sheets here. Pretty standard stuff, activation tokens, if somebody's in cover, that sort of thing. I don't know what all these mean yet, but most of them seem like they're pretty clear as to what they would be, indicating whether a miniature's in cover or not, or if they have a bonus, or if they're stunned or something. Pretty standard miniatures fare. These are room tiles. So this is like an operations hallway. These are turbo lifts. I've seen that. These are Borg assimilation tokens, I believe. That's how they mark things when they're working on assimilating it to get the victory points for their side to win. Another tile section. This is the dice board. I was reading about this. Basically, when you roll the dice on an opposed test, you line them up from highest to lowest number for each side and then pair them off, kind of like Risk, where the first two highest dice are opposing each other and then the next two highest, etc., etc. And then this is a larger board section here. This is the bridge of the, obviously I'd say the Enterprise D, but that one wasn't taken over by the Borg, but a Galaxy class bridge, I would assume. And all the tiles are two-sided, so on the other side of it is a part of a Borg cube. And then some more board pieces in here. Transporter room. And these are not punch-outs, so these are always in this position. And then more Borg cube. Another one that's all set up already. Crew quarters, medical, sick bay, or Borg. And then engineering with the plasma and the warp drive, and the various command stations and whatnot. The little science table there in the middle from Next Gen, and then more Borg. And then in here we have several decks of cards. This is the starter deck, and I was reading about this where you have, to start the game, they tell you just to use these to begin with. And then as you learn, there's actually a deck building element to it, where you can add these cards to your deck and kind of switch them out to make your own choice of decks. And I think that's where the competitive play is going to come into it, where you'll be facing off against other people who've designed their own decks too. So it's not just going to be playing just out of the game. There's going to be a little bit of a personalization to it, so you have your own setup. So here are the assimilated tiles here. So what happens with these is, punch that out, when the Borg assimilate a Federation or other non-Borg crew member, get this off of there, normally they have, here's their command sheet here and what all the abilities they have. So that's Data, for example. But let's say Data gets assimilated by the Borg. So this overlay takes effect on him, and he becomes a Borg drone controlled by the Borg player. So his abilities change. He gets a little weaker in some ways, but that's one of the ways the Borg can win is by taking over the crew. So you have all these 6 different sections here to assimilate 6 different characters. And then for the character cards, as we saw earlier, you've got Data, and you've got Riker, and you got Elizabeth Shelby, and you got Worf, and then the Borg. A quick reference here, I'll get back to that. The Borg here, we have 5 of 5, 4 of 5, Locutus, which is why Picard is not in this set. 1 of 5, 3 of 5, and 2 of 5. Go figure. And they all have their own little special abilities and everything. I'll do a review of the game later once I know how to play it. But for right now, I just want to do a quick component overview. And then this is we got a quick reference guide for both players here. It's the same thing, just kind of a turn sheet, how it works. And then this is, I believe, the 2 different overall missions that the players can be doing. So this side will be this is the Borg one. They either have to assimilate the ship or score 30 points for, what is this? Borg drones has 6 or more different specializations. So I guess if the Borg drones start picking up different specializations, they get points for that. And then the Federation crew is protect Sector 001, which is of course where Earth is. And then the other side is repair the ship, which is pretty obvious. Just go through repairing the damage to the ship that the Borg has done. And then a little bag of the little star tokens here. These plug into the little holes on the bases here. I believe that's how damage is tracked. So as they start off filled in. So I can show this real quick. So these little star tokens will fill in here. There's a little peg on them. So they sit on the sheet like that. And I believe as damage is done to the character, these just come off and they weaken down to these default values. So put that away there. And that is it for the starter set. As I said, I don't really want to go through the cards right now because I don't want to split them up yet, and I'll go through that more in detail later. But I do want to get these other 2 expansions looked at. So first one here is the Romulan expansion led by Commander Sela. So pop this open real quick. These are thinner boxes, not the heavy material that the main box is. And this just has the plastic in it. As you can see, the miniatures are same type of minis. This one is, I was trying to find Sela here. Which one is she? Is this her? Yeah, that's her. So that's the main one. That's the leader, Sela there. But yeah, just 5 different Romulans, and then more cards. They don't have a starter deck because they assume you know how to play the game by the time you start using the expansions. So this is the support deck and the missions deck, just like the base game does. As you can see, it's kind of divided in half. Let me pop that open real quick. Get that one. So it's divided by support and mission. And as you can see, when the game is set up, the 2 decks sit side by side, so they kind of make this little logo, so you can tell, which faction it is, and it's one half of the deck and the other half of the deck have their cards. So that's kind of a cool little feature there that they have that look to them. That's the minis, and then with this we get more character cards here. Tyvek, Sela, Salatrell, and Patal, and Vox. That's interesting. Vox was, I believe he was in one of the novels, and he became like assimilated by the Borg or something. So that's kind of cool that they've got him in there. And then more tokens that I don't know what these are because I don't know anything about the Romulans yet. But obviously, oh, here we are. Intel, Borg technology, Romulan bomb, and Borg technology. So obviously the Romulans are all about getting intel and doing spy stuff. And then we have the main mission for them, which is either Tal Shiar Operation, and that is if you have 5 or more Tal Shiar mission cards in your scoring area, at the end of the game. You get 30 points for that. And then this one, the board technology one, is at the start of the game. You get these board technology tokens, and then the more you get, the more points you get. I think I'm reading it upside down, but it's basically, you know, acquire board technology to further the empire. So that is the Romulans, and that is loud. And last but not least is Gowron and his Klingons. I believe there's another Klingon expansion. Is the other one coming now that I think about it. It's going to be the Terrell sisters, so House of Duras. So anyway, more same thing. We've got the cards for this. We've got the miniatures here. That's Gowron. It's good detail on them. They do have kind of a cartoony look to them, but it's still good detail on the minis. I do like the look of them. I think they'll be pretty cool looking once they're painted. If I can talk my wife into painting these for me, with all the good work she does. And again, the same deal. We've got the support deck and the mission deck, just like all the other factions. And it's just a variety of stuff, you know. Feast of Victory, Battle Fury, Code of Honor. Lots of honor stuff for the Klingons, obviously. And then there are various things like Honor, Matter of Honor, Avenge the Honored Dead. Lots of honor stuff, naturally. And then their mission token thing is here underneath. So, here. Move the minis out of the way. So then the characters, as I said, we've got Crom, Gowron, Lucara, and Korak, the characters. And then there's just 6 Batleth tokens. So that's pretty funny. I'm not sure exactly what those do, but it's cool they have specific tokens for it. And then the actual mission here, which I don't know why we have a cellophane wrapper for one card. It's kind of strange. We've got Commandeer the Ship. Score 30 points for that. Or Sto-vo-kor, which is the Afterlife. For each of your Klingon characters with honor in the mission area at the end of the game. So the more honor your characters have, the more points they get, of course. So that makes sense. So anyway, that is it in a nutshell. So that's going to be something I'll be looking forward to getting on the table very soon when we get the box top here. The only kind of complaint I have about it, which is a small complaint, and it'll look okay once the miniatures are painted and everything, but I'm not crazy about the games that have the window in the box like this, because the minis aren't in it. Then you've got this yellow empty plastic in there. Star Trek Alliance is the same way, because I like to keep my ships separate. So when they're not in the box, it's just kind of this gray emptiness sitting there with this window. I don't think this will be quite as bad because I'm sure I'll put the minis in here, so they'll be on display, which will be nice and protected. I'm not sure how well the other expansions will fit in the box. We'll probably have to keep them separate, but I'll figure that out as time goes on. But as I said, I'm looking forward to getting this to table, playing it, trying it out. I'll give you a review of it once I've played it, let you know what I think. It's Star Trek. There's a pretty good chance I'll love it. But that is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share. Tell me if there's anything else you want me to review or take a look at. Once these miniatures are painted, I'll definitely show those off again as well. But again, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.